team that's in the field has to have their designated person.
Everybody has to have their designated hitter before the first game. Both teams.
Both teams.
Before the first pitch, in here now, it says all bats should be free of dents, visible cracks, and burrs. Burrs are sometimes those little sharp edges that come on the bat after being used or hit the ground or hit the concrete or what have you. If it's got any noticeable scratchy burrs on it or what have you. There's a section, the attention, if you look it up in this book, that is also illegal and is to be taken out of the game.
I have one more question.
For one umpire to watch 3 base runners and a caught fly ball, who's tagging? Very difficult. So your first job, before you even check a base runner leaving the bases, the first job is that you want to make sure that player cleanly catches that ball. That's your first. Because if you take your eye off of him, to go see if somebody's going to, or you're anticipating he's catching that ball, and a player's going to be leaving, and you look out there and he's picking the ball up off the ground. Now, did he drop it on the catch? Did he drop it on the pulling out of his glove on the transfer? So you got to make sure that ball is caught before you make a call if he left the bag too early. And that's an appeal play. You say nothing. If you felt that he left early, in your judgment, and he left early, the other team calls time, third base runner left the bag too early, you saw it, you're sure, you call it out. But if you didn't see it, you got to call it safe. What you don't see, you can't call. Turn left, you can turn left. You can turn any way you want to after you go through first base. The rule is, if you see him make an attempt, and he said, oh, I can't do this, I'm going to get back, and the first baseman's got the ball and he walks over and touches him, he can be out. But there again, it's your judgment. If you felt that he made an attempt to go to second, and he felt that and you see that he couldn't, they can tag him coming back.
You know, that happened to me.
So my suggestion, and how I do it, and I know Ed does it, and everybody else is in the ASA, and how we're taught, is you stand in the slot. You got a right-hand batter, you stand in the slot. You can stand in there for a left-handed batter. Some guys will move over and stand in this slot. And that way you can see that whole plate, white plate, black plate, deep, wide. You don't have to ask anybody because you can see you got a good view of it.
You're talking about behind the catcher.
Behind the catcher. Yeah. Adjust yourself according to the catcher. Some catchers will stand back and stand up. Some will squat down. Some will be in here. So once he's getting set, and then you set yourself. And then you call for the pitch. Okay? If you don't think the batter's ready, put your hand up. Those guys should know that pitcher, you got time, and you're letting that batter get ready. And then you just point to him and say, play. And watch. Watch the head of him. If that ball goes over his head, you know it's high as 6 foot. If it goes twice as his size, then you know it's 12 feet. Now, I would suggest, just so you let the batter and the catcher and the pitcher know, ball. You don't have to say it real loud. Because if the outfield and the infield does not see anything from the umpire, he's going to assume it's the ball. Comes in, straight. Put that hand up so the whole field can see that you call that a strike. Say it loud, give that hand signal. I suggest, I do, because we don't have the luxury of a scoreboard, I try to remind everybody it's 2 and 2, 3 and 2, what have you. You can mark, you can say this ball's got to be fair. If it's going to be on your last strike, if it's occurred, if it's not, if it's fouled on the last strike, he's out. Don't overreact on like some of those guys. Don't embarrass that guy. He's out. He knows he's out. Just say strike 3, you're out. Don't try to embarrass him or try to showboat yourself behind that plate. Once a ball is hit, you always come out of the right side of the box. You come out of the right side of the box and you head to where you think that play is going to be. Stop before the play is made so your head's not shaking up down so you can see a close play. And if the ball is there in time, holler out, holler safe, watch where his foot hits on the white bag. If the ball is overthrown, you're going to immediately turn and anticipate there may be a play at second base. So then you'll be in. So you tell me those runners are going to make a judgment, that's not going to be there, I'm going to be running. because it may fall in there.
Yeah, but if it's called an infield fly, then the runners know they can't go.
Right, so you're protecting you're protecting the runners on that cut. That's who you want to protect, is the
Yeah,
runners.
but you're looking at the infielders.